Welcome to Advocation X, episode number 263. It is time for a newsworthy investment broadcast. In lieu of the recent events, the topics I'd like to discuss here and now are Bitcoin, Tesla's interest in Bitcoin, the future of Bitcoin, and what do you think of Bitcoin, and how does it fit into your future? So folks, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member, crush that bell, don't miss any content going forward, and please don't forget to offer up your comments and suggestions in the comment section. We do listen to your comments. We try to publish information and ideas that go along with your suggestions and the things that you're most interested in. So remember folks, this is your channel. We handle your input here. So let's dive into the deep end right now. As we look at Bitcoin and the future of Bitcoin as it relates to you, me, and the rest of the world. Bitcoin was developed way back by an individual who we don't know. He was anonymous. He put himself out as a 34-year-old Japanese man. However, nobody's ever been able to verify that, and he's gone to great lengths to hide his identity. Many people collaborated with his efforts and took his information to heart and believed that this could really be something. They launched Bitcoin in a collaborative effort where Bitcoin was equal to, I believe it was somewhere around 1,300 coins to $1. The progression of Bitcoin happened very quickly, where all of a sudden things started to take off. Bitcoin was worth $31 a share. I mean, obviously, the first milestone was it hit parity with the US dollar, which was disconcerting to many who were tapped into the fiat currency. So Bitcoin continued to gain momentum, and when it reached $100 a share, it was launched. People were invested. There were mining operations set up all over the world. Bitcoin, as you know, is held in blockchain through many different computers around the world. It takes a special setup to be able to mine Bitcoin. However, it's being done successfully, and with a finite number of Bitcoin that are allowed to be produced, it's proven to be extremely lucrative. Bitcoin had many challenges going forward, where it was up against the banks, it was up against legislation, it was up against federal agencies, it was up against everything except for the belief of the people who were involved in helping create Bitcoin. As these things started to move forward, legal minds had to really scrutinize every single corner of its operation and concluded that there was nothing illegal about forming Bitcoin. Nothing. Still, the lawyers stayed employed and continued to watch every facet of the development of Bitcoin to make sure that nobody was going to go to jail for doing what they did. The first transaction made in Bitcoin, believe it or not, was, I believe, 1,200 Bitcoins were exchanged from the US to England, where the individual in England agreed to take those 1,200 Bitcoins and ordered 2 pizzas for the individual on the other side of the world. And it was successful. Those 2 pizzas must have proved to be some amazingly valuable property for the individual who ordered those pizzas. 1,200 Bitcoin, today as we know, is worth over $50,000 per coin. Per coin. And he bought 2 pizzas and received 1,200 coins. Now, Bitcoin has never been without its challenges. It's been up, it's been down, it's been all in between. But by and large, it's continued to recover each and every time. And the people who have been monitoring and being the caretakers of Bitcoin have succeeded in acquiring great wealth. Bitcoin is still progressing and moving forward after it reached the $100 milestone. It continued to grow in popularity, and all of a sudden people were starting to find avenues where they could actually make transactions with Bitcoin. They could actually buy things with Bitcoin. At a certain point, there were the caretakers of Bitcoin who were trying their best to pay their rent in Bitcoin. However, that didn't prove fruitful at the beginning. Exchanging Bitcoin for fiat currency again, they could easily pay whatever bills were being incurred. Understand, folks, that when you look at Bitcoin, it is not just an imaginary coin just materializing in the ether. Bitcoin takes a lot of work to extract from the crypto universe. Bitcoin becomes electronically intensive when you're looking at the labor that is used to create a Bitcoin. It is not something that is physically produced. However, there are people who have been very creative in creating Bitcoin type chips, you could say, that can actually be physically possessed to represent the fact that you have Bitcoin. And many of them are made quite authentically. There is a huge movement around Bitcoin. It would not exist if it were not for the people who have believed in it right from the start and have pushed it forward right to the point where we are today. Bitcoin is now a valuable commodity, which Elon Musk himself, through Tesla, the company, has invested in Bitcoin to the tune of $1.2, $1.3 billion. I expect Apple to be the next to fall in line and take some of its available capital and throw it into Bitcoin as well, just to shore up its bottom line and make sure that that money is protected. As you know, when people are making transactions in the stock market, they sometimes will liquidate assets just to solidify that gain. However, you're solidifying it for fiat currency, which really is no gain at all, since it actually pretty well loses money based on inflation and bank fees, etc., etc., etc. Since we now know the basis of Bitcoin and we know where it's headed, is it a great investment for you? Of course, this is just personal opinion. It has nothing to do with actual financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't have any credentials in that regard, but I can tell you right now, in my own opinion, I am so happy that Tesla has invested in Bitcoin, because I'm invested in Tesla, and that means I'm invested in Bitcoin. Will I also invest in Bitcoin just on the outs for my own self? Absolutely. I'm doing the research as to the best avenue to get myself invested deeply into Bitcoin itself. I believe that Bitcoin has a long way to go. And once it hits its maximum of 1 million issued coins, I believe its value will increase exponentially from there. So, those are my thoughts on that part of Bitcoin. Where is it going in the future? What do you think? Is it something that looks like it could fit into your world? Would it be able to help you in the future by solidifying some of the gains you've made in the stock market, with me or without me, and are wishing to put it somewhere where it's going to be secure? In my opinion, Bitcoin is going to be one of the more secure places to put your dollars, where they're not going to get chunked away by inflation or any other means of extraction. No third party pretty well guarantees you that your Bitcoin is your Bitcoin. The value of it will be determined by the demands in the public. The amount of places that come on board, like Elon Musk, and say you can purchase a Tesla product with Bitcoin, is going to cause it to skyrocket. Get ready, folks. Bitcoin is going into the stratosphere, and with it goes Tesla. So, leave your comments in the section. Let me know what you think, what you honestly think. Where is Bitcoin going in your future or in the future of the world? I'd love to hear your comments. And remember, we never give up and we never give in. But we will always keep an open mind, because knowledge is our power. And we will not relinquish that power. Do your own research. That's what I did. And I come to you guys regularly with information that is gleaned from that research. Knowledge is power. Stay safe, stay healthy, and above all else, stay as happy as humanly possible. Thank you for spending time with us here on this channel. We hope to run with you into the future. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member, crush that bell. Don't miss anything going forward. And until next time, stay safe.